That is the rear of historic Martin Station. Displaying the glory of God's creation by exploring America one park at a time. Welcome to Parking Full Time with Big Dave, the Parks Professor. Welcome back to Parking Full Time. I am Big Dave, the Parks Professor. We are at Wilderness Road State Park. We are in extreme Western Virginia. Not West Virginia, but extreme Western Virginia. We're about 7 miles east of Cumberland Gap. Today is Saturday, March the 23rd. And the temperature right now is a damp and chilly and breezy 48 degrees. Rained all night last night. And we still have some dampness and breeziness today. The hike we're going to do is a around the park double loop. Right now we just started the Indian Ridge Trail. This is the eastern loop. And we're going to do this loop first. Markers for a northern red oak tree there. Very nice. This trail appears to be marked with orange trail markers. And this is one loop. This is about a 3/4 mile loop. And then we'll go back across the road that we started across just seconds ago. And we'll do another loop through the historical area of this park on the west side of the road. So that is the plan for the hike today. Let's get into it. We're most of the way around the loop part of the Indian Ridge Trail. And we're at a little overlook here that doesn't really overlook much. There's a grassy area there off in the distance. Another nice interpretive sign here. Eastern red cedar, that means this area was probably farmed not too long ago. Some nice rock outcrops that way. Nice little spot here. We will keep going, and we're almost finished with the Indian Ridge Trail, and then we'll head over to the Western Loop. All right, we've had a bit of a change of plans, and I'll explain that in a minute. But we have made it around to the park's Bison Pen, and right now I am zoomed in on the bison. Wish they were a little closer, but they are where they are. There are a couple more off here to the left. Right there, kind of behind the edge of the trees there. I'll zoom back out here. So that's what I'm actually looking at. Interesting spot here. We'll continue, and I'll explain the change of plans that we just did momentarily. All right, so about that change of plans, I had intended to do this hike as a double loop. And then just past the overlook, I showed you the quote-unquote overlook. I showed you a couple of clips ago. I noticed a spur trail that takes me down to this bike path. And I had intended to come back on the bike path, but hiking that spur trail down to the bike path when I did turns that double loop that I had in mind into a true loop. And so now we're at the southwest corner of the true loop. And what we're going to do here, we're going to turn to the right. We're going to leave the bike path and begin a blue blaze trail called the Pioneer Trail. And this will take us back up to the parking lot near the picnic area where we are parked, and that'll finish this hike. That bike path we were walking on, by the way, that path does more or less follow the route of Daniel Boone's Wilderness Road through this area. Nice clearing off here to the right. Scenic mountain there in the distance. Today that path is a bike path and a hiking path. It's also open to horses. bridle users. In between the time it was a wilderness road and a bike path, it was actually a railroad grade. So that road we've just been hiking on has seen many uses over the past couple hundred years. We're closing in on the end of the Pioneer Trail, and off here, across the very scenic field to our right, that is the rear of historic Martin Station. And there's actually a parking lot on the other side there. So you can park there and you can walk up and walk through that historic site. So the Wilderness Road doesn't look much like it did back in Daniel Boone's day, but some other things do. I'm zoomed in. Let me go ahead and zoom out here. There we go. Since there are only a couple thousand feet left in this hike, I do want to thank you for watching. Parking full time would not be anything without the people who watch. I realize that every day, and I heartily thank you every day. This is a nice hike here, some historic interest. Also some just nice scenery, nice walking through the woods. I also want to remind you that I do not make any monetary compensation for anything that I do for this project. I took a vow to do that many years ago, and I have stuck to that vow. So the only thing I get for writing up these blog entries and doing these videos are your likes, your subscribes, your views, and your comments. And I do appreciate all of those things. So kind of a raw day here today, but still pretty nice hike here. So I'm going to close out this video. Until next time, I am Big Dave, the Parks Professor, for Parking Full Time, from Wilderness Road State Park on the Virginia side of the Cumberland Gap. Have a great afternoon, take care, and Lord bless.